Rinsha lived with her family in a small village at the outskirts of Diphu in Assam. She enjoys watching her family members clearing, slashing, and burning a patch of land for cultivation. She often helps them in irrigating the fields with water running through a bamboo canal from the nearby spring. She loves the surrounding and wants to stay here as long as she can. But this girl has no idea about the declining fertility of the soil and her family's search for a fresh patch of land in the next season. Can you name the type of farming Rincha's family is engaged in? Can you enlist some crops which are grown in such farming?
Some crops that are grown in slash and burn agriculture are 1. Food grains like coarse varieties of rice and maize. 2. Cash crops like cotton, ginger, linseed, rape seeds, sesamum, pineapple and jute. 3. Vegetables like soya bean, potato, pumpkins, cucumbers, yams, tapioca, chilies, beans, and onions.
Intensive subsistence farming. This type of farming is practiced in areas of high population pressure on land. It is labor intensive farming where high doses of biochemical inputs and irrigation are used for obtaining higher production. Can you name some states in India where such farming is practiced?
Crops grown. Intensive subsistence farming yields two types of crops: wet and dry. While the wet crops include paddy, the dry ones vary from wheat, pulses, maize, millets, to sorghum, soya beans, tubers, and vegetables.
Though the right of inheritance leading to division of land among successive generations has rendered landholding size uneconomical. The farmers continue to take maximum output from the limited land in the absence of alternative sources of livelihood. Thus, there is enormous pressure on agricultural land. Commercial farming. The main characteristic of this type of farming is the use of high doses of modern inputs. Example, high yielding variety of seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides in order to obtain higher productivity. The degree of commercialization of agriculture varies from one region to another. For example, rice is the commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab, but in Odisha it is subsistence crop. Plantation is also a type of commercial farming. In this type of farming, a single crop is grown on a large area. The plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. Plantations cover large tracts of land using capital intensive inputs with the help of migrant laborers. All the produce is used as raw material in respective industries. In India, tea, coffee, rubber, sugar, banana, etc. are important plantation crops. Tea in Assam and North Bengal, coffee in Karnataka are some of the important plantation crops grown in these states. Since the production is mainly for market, a well developed network of transport and communication connecting the plantation areas, process, processing industries, and markets play an important role in the development of plantations. Cropping patterns. You have studied the physical diversities and plurality of cultures in India. These are also reflected in the agricultural practices and cropping patterns in the country. Various types of food and fiber crops, vegetables, fruits, spices, condiments, etc., constitute some of the important crops grown in the country. India has three cropping seasons: Rabi, Kharif, and Zaid. Rabi crops are sown in winter from October to December and harvested in summer from April to June. Some of the important Rabi crops are wheat, barley, peas, gram, and mustard. Though these crops are grown in large parts of India, states from the north and northwestern parts such as Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, and Uttar Pradesh are important for the production of wheat and other rabi crops. Availability of precipitation during winter months due to the western temperature cyclones help in the success of these crops. However, the success of green revolution in Punjab, Haryana, western Uttar Pradesh, and parts of Rajasthan has also been an important factor in the growth of the above mentioned rabi crops. Kharif crops are grown with the onset of monsoon in different parts of the country, and these are harvested in September October. Important crops grown during this season are paddy, maize, jawar, bajra, tur, moong, urad, cotton, jute, groundnut, and soybean. Some of the important rice growing regions are Assam, West Bengal, coastal regions Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Maharashtra, particularly the Konkan coast along with Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Recently, paddy has also become an important crop of Punjab and Haryana. In states like Assam, West Bengal, and Odisha, three crops of paddy are grown in a year. These are Os, Aman, and Boro. In between the Rabi and Kharif season, there is a short season during the summer months known as Zaid season. Some of the crops produced during Zaid are watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, vegetables, and fodder crops. Sugarcane takes almost a year to grow. Major crops. A variety of food and non food crops are grown in different parts of the country depending upon the variation of soil, climate, and cultivation practices. Major crops grown in India are rice, wheat, millets, pulses, tea, coffee, sugarcane, oilseeds, cotton, jute, etc. Rice. It is the staple food crop of a majority of people in India. Our country is the second largest producer of rice in the world after China. It is a kharif crop which requires high temperature, about 25 degrees Celsius, and high humidity with annual rainfall above 100 centimeters. In the areas of less rainfall, it grows with the help of irrigation. Rice is grown in the plains of north and northeastern India, coastal areas, and deltaic regions. Development of canal irrigation and tube wells have made it possible to grow rice in areas of less rainfall such as Punjab, Haryana, and western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan. Wheat. This is the second most important cereal crop. It is the main food crop in the north and northwest part of the country. This rabi crop requires a cool growing season and a bright sunshine at the time of ripening. It requires 50 to 75 centimeters of annual rainfall, evenly distributed over the growing seasons. There are two important wheat growing zones in the country: the Ganga Satluj Plains in the north, west, and the black soil region of the Deccan. The major wheat producing states are Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, and parts of Madhya Pradesh. Millets. Jawar, bajra, and ragi are the important millets grown in India. Though these are known as coarse grains, they have very high nutritional value. For example, ragi is very rich in iron, calcium, other micronutrients, and roughage. Jawar is the third most important food crop with respect to area and production. It is a rain fed crop mostly grown in the moist areas which hardly needs irrigation. Major jawar producing states were Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh in 2011-12. Bajra grows well on sandy soils and shallow black soil. Major bajra producing states were Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Haryana in 2011-12. Bajra grows well on sandy soil and shallow black soil. Major bajra producing states were Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Haryana in 2011-12. Ragi is a crop of dry regions and grows well on red, black, sandy, loamy, and shallow black soils. Major ragi producing states are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand, and Arunachal Pradesh. Maize. Maize is a crop which is used both as food and fodder. It is a kharif crop which requires temperature between 21 degrees Celsius and 27 degrees Celsius and grows well in old alluvial soil. In some states like Bihar, maize is grown in Rabi season also. Use of modern inputs such as HYV seeds, fertilizers, and irrigation have contributed to the increasing production of maize. Major maize producing states are Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Madhya Pradesh.